What is up, everyone? My name is Jesse. This is the Auditorium. I react to video game music as a musician myself. Today I will be doing a Patreon request for both Trista Ray and Sean. This is Final Fantasy XIV, The Queen Awakens. Ooh. A little bit of a longer song. It's probably going to loop a bunch. I'm going to guess this is a boss battle, but we will see. Final Fantasy XIV has always been a bunch of good times. Never know what to expect at any given moment. But I can probably guarantee, well, who knows? Who knows? But I'm going to guess that the drums will sound dope. And there's going to be a melody that's going to get stuck in my head and rinse and repeat. So yeah, so I've never played this game, but I am very much familiar now with the soundtrack because I discovered it here. Anyways, let's get going. The Queen Awakens. Let's go. Oh, ouch. That's not a good start. Is that the same person that we just saw? Vengeful Akon. Man, this just screams Final Fantasy. A spider motorcycle thing? Unicycle? Oh, it's from Shadowbringers. Oh, hey, hello. What? Where's the unicycle spider? Because that makes sense. What a bizarre song already. What is this boss battle? I'm telling you right now, before the video's even over, I don't know what to say already. I'm kind of blanking out. It's kind of hard to follow. That's cool. Ooh, yeah. I'm a big fan of oohs and ahs and very simple vocals like this. This just needs a sitar and we're complete. Ooh. What is that? That almost sounds like not instruments, like foreign materials getting hit. I think it looped. This is hard to follow. Boom, boom. Very experimental. All over the place. Ooh, that was... It sounds like a crowd vocal, like 10 people, and then with an octaver just like cranked. So strange. Well, I was right, the percussion is pretty cool in this one. I wonder if this vocal right here has to do with like the character itself. Maybe she has a lot of people or souls inside of her or something. There's a lot of bombs on the screen. This part's really cool. I like those strings a lot. Sextuplet. Loop. This. It almost sounds like tin cans or something. I'm very curious what was used there. Okay. Got about a minute left. It's interesting because I'm like, I'm intrigued, but I'm lost. That's okay though. You know, there doesn't have to be a set mood for me. Music is music. But it's just so bizarre. I feel like every time I've listened to it, every loop, I've discovered something else. There's so many little things. Like Easter eggs everywhere. I hear that flute too. Oh. That was it. Okay. Now, before I begin, I'm going to just say this off the bat. Everything I'm about to say is not negative or bad. It's just what I think. That song was weird as hell. In every sort of standpoint, music standpoint, maybe contextual standpoint, it was just bizarre. And I can almost guarantee the first time you heard this, you also said the same thing. There's no way you heard this and were like, yes, I get what's happening. No, you don't. Maybe you did, but that's not a bad thing, again. So now that we got that out of the way, I just wanted to say that everything I'm going to say is relating to the literal words of like weird, strange, mysterious. So anyways, yes, very weird, very experimental. It seems like a cauldron of just odd sounds together. Everything sounded good. Nothing sounded like dissonant or off or, you know, disharmonized. Nothing like that. It was just choices together that were kind of all over the place. We had the hymns, the bells, we had a flute, the tribal drums, the violins that were really, really good. And then, of course, the crazy vocals, which we'll talk about in a bit. At first, I was getting kind of a Middle Eastern sort of aura, but not really. Just, I guess, kind of in the way the vocalist was kind of drifting on her notes. But then that kind of more turned into a, where is this going? I didn't know where it was going. And then it had this little, like, really cool piano towards the end of the loop, I think, where it all kind of just slowed down, and it was just kind of her and the piano, and then it brought back up into this kind of heartbeat type rhythm to kind of prep you for something. Now, from what I've heard in the comment section is a lot of times, I don't know if every time, let me know, but a lot of times the lyrics and song clearly reflect the boss itself, or maybe they're themselves singing it or supposed to be singing it, that type of thing, where I would assume that the song has to do with the boss. And, you know, as weird as the boss looks, right? It's a unicycle spider queen thing. Very Square Enix. I couldn't help but wonder, like, what is going on? Like, I can't even picture anything at all. Like, my mind was blank. I was more focused on listening to every little sound I could hear and then trying to paint something out of it. I'm lucky I even had footage to go with it, and even that didn't help. Now, in my quest to look for something, maybe that is the answer that I was searching for. Maybe there is no answer. I doubt it, but it's possible. Maybe this song is meant to make you just question reality. This boss is equally just as confusing. Who knows? Maybe that's just part of the appeal. It's not impossible. Unlikely, but plausible. Now, that being said, this is probably one of the more forgettable tracks for me, which is so ironic, because I'm what I'm about to say, is that I'm going to remember it so hard because it was so different. So, musically, it was just jarring and kind of whatever. But knowing in the future, if I talk about the Queen Awakens again, I'll be like, oh yeah, that was a oddball. And so even though it's forgettable, it's like unforgettable. So I've kind of broken reality. It's a paradigm shift. So it's funny how that works out. But that's just how I feel, honestly. Not a bad song, just kind of bizarre choices. There's parts of me, tiny little parts, that makes this feel, as a writer myself, that makes it feel like this is maybe one of those, for lack of a better word, like a throwaway track. Maybe something that just needed to get put together and just kind of because that's what it sounded like. It sounded like, let's take these violins over here, this piano, and then these vocals, and then just kind of clump them together. Now, as far as the vocals, obviously that's kind of the main like thing that sticks out big time. It sounds like a group, you know, of 10 or more, and you know, they're kind of chanting this thing in some language that I didn't understand. It was turned down and it was kind of distorted, and the octaves were kind of bumped up like maybe 2 or 3, meaning raising their tonality. So again, I kept thinking, I'm like, does this have to do with the boss itself? Because it sounded to me like those voices were like trapped or caged or some sort of like, you know, maybe internally inside of her. But I was looking and I'm like, I didn't see anything like, you know, floating souls or anything like that. So basically my imagination went into overdrive. I had nothing in my head that I was kind of just, oh, I guess I'm lying then. I had so much nothing in my head that I had like everything that I could possibly try to fill in this space. So maybe the song is actually pretty genius. I'm gonna laugh for those people that like left during the video and they're like, oh, he didn't like it, bye. And then over here I'm just like praising it at the end. That's what 14 does. Now, let's be real. It's genius in its own way. I'm not the biggest fan of it. It's cool. It's awesome, but it's not my cup of tea. It's just so bizarre. And the boss looks just as bizarre. It looks fun though. Looks like a fun boss. But yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just kind of it's there, and it makes me think. And I feel like it's like a talking piece. I feel if you talk about the Queen Awakens with other fans, they just probably say stuff along the lines of, yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was a banger. This type of thing. I don't know. There's a lot of assumptions going on. That's all I can do. So, forgive me. If you want to make a request, just like Sean and Trista rated, you could request a VGM on Patreon or PayPal, and those are the guaranteed ways I will check out your song. There's a gigantic list, and I cannot emphasize that enough. If you want to skip that line in that gigantic list, there's the Platinum Trophy tier on Patreon, which expedites your backlog if you have one, and whatever requests you have coming later. A big thank you to Aiden, Justin, Kevin, Moon Knight, Roguemock, Solid Bullet 066, Your Average Metalhead, Lord Daddy, and Sakainua Rayday for being a part of that. Thank you to everyone that you see over here. Thank you to you for watching, the Final Fantasy XIV fans, and those that don't play this game, that just watch these with me. Thank you. My name is Jesse. This has been The Auditorium. I hope you have a fantastic day, evening, night, whatever. Take it easy.